It is finally official, and the speculation that has been keeping the Nigerian internet awake for the last 48 hours has just been confirmed by the highest military authority in the land. The United States Army is not just monitoring from afar anymore. They have physically landed on Nigerian soil. If you have been following the whispers since Christmas, you know something big was cooking. But today, Wednesday, February 4, 2026, we have moved from rumors to concrete reality. The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, has officially confirmed that a specialized team of United States military personnel has deployed to Nigeria. This is breaking news that changes the entire dynamic of the war against insurgency in West Africa. And we need to unpack every single detail of what this mission actually entails, because the headline, U.S. Army lands, sounds terrifying to some and relieving to others. But the truth is, somewhere in the middle. We have to go back to the source of this explosive update. It wasn't leaked by a blogger. It came directly from a high-stakes briefing involving the commander of the U.S. Africa Command, AFRICOM, General Dagvin Anderson, and our own defense minister. Just yesterday, General Anderson stood before reporters and dropped the bombshell. A small team of U.S. troops is now on the ground. He didn't mince words. He stated clearly that this deployment is the result of a mutual agreement between President Bola Tinubu and the U.S. government to escalate the fight against terrorism. But here's where it gets interesting. General Christopher Musa, a man who doesn't speak unless it is necessary, corroborated this. He admitted that yes, the Americans are here, and yes, they are working side by side with our troops, but he was very careful to specify that this is not an invasion force. It is a technical partnership designed to bring what he called unique capabilities to the battlefield. Now, why is this happening right now, in February 2026? You have to remember the chaos of December 2025. While we were all preparing for the holidays, reports surfaced of precision airstrikes in Sokoto State on Christmas Day. At the time, there was confusion. Was it the Nigerian Air Force? Was it a foreign power? Today's confirmation connects the dots. Those airstrikes were authorized by President Donald Trump, who has been incredibly vocal and frankly quite aggressive about what he calls the protection of Christians in Nigeria. The U.S. government had been flying surveillance missions from Ghana since November 2025, watching the movement of bandits and terrorists like hawks. The intelligence they gathered led to those December strikes, and now they have decided that airstrikes alone are not enough. They need boots on the ground to coordinate the next phase. What exactly will these U.S. soldiers be doing? This is the part that concerns every Nigerian. Are we going to see American tanks rolling through Abuja or foreign soldiers at checkpoints in Kaduna? The answer, according to the briefing, is a firm no. The mission profile is described as intelligence fusion and targeting support. Basically, the U.S. team is here to be the eyes and ears that we have been missing. They are bringing advanced technology, likely satellite feeds, signal intelligence equipment that can track phone calls in the bush, and drone operational support that will allow the Nigerian military to know exactly where the enemy is sleeping before they even wake up. General Anderson mentioned that this team brings capabilities that only the U.S. can bring. This suggests high-level tech that hasn't been shared with us before. It is about precision. Instead of bombing a whole forest, they want to be able to pinpoint a specific hut where a commander is hiding. But there is a twist to this story that makes it even more juicy. And if you are enjoying this deep dive into our national security, please, I beg you, smash that like button right now. It helps us get this information to more Nigerians who need to know the truth. And if you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to be the last person to know when the next big operation happens. The twist is the diplomatic juggling act Nigeria is playing. Just a few days ago, General Musa was on television defending a massive $5 billion deal with Turkey. Remember, Nigeria just signed agreements for Turkish attack helicopters and drones. Some people in Washington were not happy about us getting cozy with Turkey, but General Musa stood his ground. He said Nigeria is a non-aligned nation. We will take help from Turkey, we will take help from China, and we will take help from the U.S. This deployment of U.S. troops is essentially the U.S. saying, we won't let Turkey be your only big partner. It's a competition for influence, and for once, Nigeria might actually be benefiting from it. We are getting hardware from Turkey and intelligence manpower from the US. If our military leaders play this card right, the bandits in the northwest are about to face a level of firepower they cannot comprehend. Let's talk about the reaction from the streets. The news has split opinion. On one hand, people in Zamfara, Sokoto, and Katsina are tired. They've lived through years of hell, and if American soldiers can end banditry, they don't care if they come from Mars, they just want peace. The confirmation that this team is here to augment our forces gives hope that the days of bandits riding in convoys of 200 motorcycles are over. You can't ride in a convoy when a US satellite is tracking your heat signature. On the other hand, there are critics who worry about sovereignty. They ask, why can't we do this ourselves? But General Musa's response has been pragmatic. He's essentially saying that the threat has evolved into a global one, with ISIS elements trying to merge with local bandits, and we need global tools to fight it. The mention of the Lakurawa group and ISWAP is critical here. The US isn't really interested in cattle rustlers. They are interested in global terrorists. They are protecting their own interests by ensuring these groups don't grow big enough to attack the West. But in the process, they are helping us clean up our backyard. It's a marriage of convenience. The panic we heard about in Bello Turji's camp last week now makes perfect sense. Turji isn't stupid. He knows that fighting the Nigerian army is one thing, but fighting a joint Nigerian-US operation with real-time surveillance is a suicide mission. The constant relocation of bandit camps that the military reported is a direct result of this eye in the sky that has been active since November. We also need to look at the personality of General Christopher Musa in this equation. As a retired general and now defense minister, he has shown a very different style from his predecessors. He is more open to international collaboration. By confirming this mission publicly, he is trying to get ahead of the rumors. He knows that if Nigerians saw white soldiers in the north and the government said nothing, conspiracy theories would explode. By owning the narrative, he is trying to reassure us that he is still in charge and the Americans are just here to help. He emphasized that the operation is Nigerian-led. The Americans suggest targets, but the Nigerian military pulls the trigger. This distinction is vital for our national pride. So what should we expect in the coming weeks? Expect loud noises, as the military likes to say. With this team on the ground, the coordination between the Air Force and the ground troops is going to tighten. We might start seeing headlines about surgical strikes and the elimination of high-profile commanders. The African Lion 2026 exercise is also coming up in Morocco in May, and this deployment is likely a warm-up for a broader regional security framework. Nigeria is positioning itself as the anchor of stability in West Africa, backed by the biggest military machine on earth. This is a developing situation, and the presence of foreign troops is always a sensitive matter. We will be watching closely to see if the US mission stays small as they promised or if it expands. And we will also be watching to see if this pressure actually stops the kidnappings, because at the end of the day, results are all that matter to the common Nigerian. We don't eat intelligence reports. We want safe roads and safe farms. Thank you for trusting us with your news updates. This is a historic moment for our military, and we will be here to document every step of it. If you haven't already, please like this video and share it with your friends. Let's get the conversation started. In the comments, do you support the US Army being on Nigerian soil if it ends banditry, or do you think it's a mistake? I want to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel for daily updates, and until next time, stay safe and keep your eyes open.